Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Zane and today we'll be having a look at the 600 horsepower Lotus Eletre electric SUV, and it's unlike any other Lotus. The British brand, known for its lightweight sport cars, goes into a different direction with this EV. This EV will be built in China and is set to arrive in the US in 2024. The new Lotus Eletre is an all-wheel drive EV SUV with at least 600 horsepower. It has a 800 volts battery with more than 100 kilowatts per hour capacity and a claimed range equal to about 315 miles using the EPA cycle. The Eletre will be built in Wuhan, China, and will reach the United States in 2024. Almost all street-legal Lotus models have followed the same recipe for light, simple sport car, with only a majority featuring more than 2 seats, so it's no exaggeration to say that the freshly unveiled Eletre is a revolutionary departure from the Chinese-owned British brand. High-performance electric SUV. Anyone who expects the production Eletre to be related to the existing Volvo or Polestar EV, all three brands are part of the Geely group. Essentially, Geely owns all three companies, and all three of these companies are heading to the electric market quite heavily and persistently. Now, the finished car sits on Lotus Architecture, which is more advanced than the underpinning of any of its cousins. One that incorporates a new aluminum and high tensile steel structure and an 800 volt battery pack, which I think is fantastic. The good thing is that this car has over at least 300 miles range. But I do hope that Lotus allows us to customize this vehicle so we can have possibly even more range in a more highly configured version of this car. Now, while there are many technical highlights of the discussion, it is undoubtedly the Electre's dramatic styling that made the biggest first impression when we got to see the show. Now, the Lotus Eletre isn't really a far out concept. It's rather simplistic, it's rather reasonable, and it's quite sensible. Now, it does look oddly similar to the Lamborghini Urus from both the front and side profiles. That comparison holds true when it comes to dimensions too. Although Lotus didn't cite the Lambo as either a benchmark or a competitor, the Electre's 200.9 in length, 78.7 in width, 64.2 in height, and 118.9 in wheelbase are all within 0.7 inch of the comparison of the corresponding Urus figures. So yes, both cars look quite oddly similar, but the interesting thing is that plenty of all the SUV vehicles, they look oddly similar to the Lamborghini Urus, especially from the rear. Now, the interesting thing is that both companies are owned by, guess who, VW. So it's not that surprising that they look quite similar. But for Lotus to take inspiration from the Urus, I think it's a smart idea, especially from the front profile. That's what most companies are doing these days. They're taking inspiration from each other. But quite interestingly, I also see some design inspiration from this vehicle that are directly from Volvo and Polestar. If you look at the Polestar 3 design that's coming out quite soon, you realize from the side profile of this vehicle, the back of the vehicle looks oddly similar, especially the pillars going up towards the roof of the car towards the back. So it's fair to say that this car does take inspiration from many other companies. Lotus have always done this, in my opinion. Some of the Lotus cars, especially their most recent sports car, they look oddly similar to most Ferraris. And another thing that's quite interesting, Polestar helped to build the first Tesla car, the Tesla Roadster, and that's the only car that's currently in space that was sent up by Elon Musk's company SpaceX. Its sculpted shape features a lot of the styling team led by former Ford and Volvo design. Now, the Eletre also gets active aerodynamics, including a closing grille shutter and a 3-position rear spoiler. The huge wheels you see here are 23-inch rims, which will be optional. We're told that the 22 inches will be standard in most markets. Now, the official images don't show them in their deploy state, but the Eletre also has LiDAR sensors which raise out of the body and will allow eventual high-level autonomous. There's one at each of the end of the roof and 2 more that emerge from above the front wheel arches. Lotus promises it will ultimately be possible to summon the Eletre from parking spaces or return it to one exclusively through a smartphone app. So other futuristic design includes a camera-based side mirror system, which will be offered in territories where it's permitted. Conventional door mirrors will be standard in more technological, adventurous markets including the US. The full width light bar on the lift gate has the ability to change green or blue as well as red and orange. It will only use legally permitted colors for stop lights and turn signals when the car is moving, but it will also be able to display a multicolor animation when the car is unlocked and will also indicate the battery charge status. Now I must say, personally, I like the look of this car, but I love the interior. It's absolutely incredible and extremely futuristic. Everything from the material that is used to the colors to the center display, everything looks absolutely amazing, sleek, and just really well designed. Really futuristic, really comfy and cozy. And the steering wheel looks really modern and amazing. And I've got to say, it's a really nice touch because I strongly dislike vehicles that have a terrible looking steering wheel, but the rest of the interior looks absolutely amazing. It just doesn't go well. And the Electra's cabin is where it feels most different from other Lotus model, none of which are features milled bronze metal, rocket switches, or buttress hollow cent. Now insiders said that much of the interior has been designed with Chinese taste in mind. Electra will be produced in new factories in Wuhan, and China will account for a sustainable percentage of sale. Yet the overall experience certainly feels upmarket, with a stitched leather and microfiber dashboard and sports seats trimmed in high-density wheel blend fabric. As with many other futuristic EVs, the Electra steering is far from round. Now let's talk a little bit about the Electra's user interface. It's new, according to the design team, unrelated to the Google-based system used by Volvo and Polestar. This is great, I love this. This means Lotus is building their own operating system for their own vehicle, which is exactly what I think Volvo and Polestar should be doing. Now the display system demonstrates the resolution of a huge 15.1-inch OLED center touchscreen. Lotus promised it will be possible to access 95% of the car system with 3 or fewer screens input. It will also get a heads-up display with augmented reality overlay. An 800-watt 15-inch surround sound system that will be standard, with a 23-speaker 1500-watt system optional. So let's have a look at this car's performance, right? The Electra will be an all-wheel drive electric vehicle with at least 600 horsepower. Lotus claims it will sprint to 62 miles per hour in under 3 seconds and will top out at 160 miles per hour. Lotus said it's targeting a range of 373 miles under the European WLTP testing protocols. I think that's fantastic. That equates to roughly 315 miles according to the EPA methodological in the United States. The Electra can replenish 2/3 of the battery in 20 minutes, a 350 kilowatts per hour fast charger. Adaptive dampers and air suspension will be standard on all versions. And I think this is absolutely incredible. From the side view of this vehicle, it looks like everything that we've seen before, but improved. It has a little bit of Porsche in it, a little bit of Lamborghini Urus. The wheels are extremely Lamborghini as well, I must say that for sure. Now the Electra will be the beefiest Lotus of all time. Informed speculation suggests it will be around 5,500 pounds. But I'm expecting this vehicle to have a similar pricing to the Tesla Model X, which is another SUV this car will be heavily competing against, which means that the Electra price could be roughly around $120,000, maybe $130,000 in the United States. But that's it for this video. I absolutely love this car. It's beautiful. It looks absolutely amazing, and I really love that Lotus is going into the electric market heavily, but they're going in there by doing the right thing by developing an SUV, especially that this vehicle is targeted towards the United States market. We do know that the United States people do love their SUVs and their pickup truck, so a big fast vehicle is exactly what they love. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to see more, leave a comment if I missed anything. Leave a comment and let's have a discussion. Thank you for watching until the end. I really appreciate that. Subscribe and I will see you in my next video.